this year, our year. You know, success doesn't happen overnight. It takes 20 years to become an overnight success. We say that art mean business. Art mean business. When the week starts, I enter my own movie.
All right, so we have the president of the Rotary Club of Alabang Madrigal Business Park, Dickie Aguado, with us this evening. Thank you so much for joining us, Dickie. You are my classmate, so classmate Dickie, thank you so much for making time for this first episode of Usapang Rotary podcast.
Good evening to each and everyone watching this broadcast. Yes, I'm very glad that I'm here at Usapang Rotary, and it's the first episode. So happy that the things that we'll discuss will not only be discussed right here, right now, but will be continued to be implemented outside our areas of concern.
Perfect. Very true. So, without further ado, let's start with my first question that I have for you, classmate Dickie, is as president of the Rotary Club, how has your journey as a Rotary president been so far?
Well, I would say that it's a continuation of what we began in the past. Actually, for the past 2 years, since I was still a president nominee, and then until I became a president-elect, we prepared for everything that we're doing now. And basically, what we're preparing for right now is already the sustainability and continuity because, success doesn't happen overnight. It takes 20 years to become an overnight success.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So tell us a little about Magna Kultura, where you are the chairman. And frankly, the name has a classical ring to it, and I love it. What went on to make it a successful business, and how did it start? Tell us a little bit about the journey so far in Magna Kultura.
Basically, Magna Kultura is an NGO. It's a non-stock, non-profit corporation. Like the journey that we've been talking about, like that, I said it takes 20 years to become an overnight success. Magna Kultura started in the year 2003.
Wow.
2003. So it's 20 years now. So It's an arts and culture education NGO. And we're using it as an advocacy to teach communities, schools, and like I said, all those before I even became a Rotarian, I was telling them those who cannot join the Rotary because they're into arts, join Magna Kultura Foundation. Okay, so basically it's an arts and culture organization, and we've been serving not only communities and schools, but even the art institutions in our country, like the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the National Commission on the Culture and Arts, consult us on the things that we do because we are very much in touch with the grassroots. We don't just make presentations or seminars, but we really get in touch with people, get to know the people in the neighborhood, in the city, and then we give them what we need. And it's not just art for art's sake, but it is also built in with social enterprise, with livelihood programs. That's why, in a way, we say that art mean business. Art mean business. What I mean is like this. The fiestas happening in the cities, the big Sinulog in Cebu, the Panagbenga in Baguio, all those are cultural events. Now, when that happens, the city becomes alive. The hotels, the transport, the food, the people is suddenly activated with business, livelihood enterprise. So, in a way, culture can become an economic engine. And that is what Magna Cultura is doing. It's not just presenting and activating people, but creating community-based tourism programs for social and cultural enterprise.
How wonderfully put. And what an idea, really. I mean, when you say art is really leading to commerce in a way, I think that's the best combination that one can find. And the right balance is very important. So you talked about Sinulog in Cebu. Could you tell us a little bit, I mean, in the day, in the life of one of your organization's members, what do they go through the entire day when such an event happens? What do you do? If you can visualize this for our viewers.
Basically, it's talking to people who will be part of the event, basically the stakeholders, as we call them, from the local government to the barangays, to the people, the citizens there. So activating them because it's telling them that, hey, we're going to do something in your city and people are coming. So we must be visitor ready. So you don't just scare them that, oh, a lot of people are coming and we must be this and that. No, you give them fun, make it exciting for them so that from the children to the youth to the parents and the businesses, you activate everybody and make them all come alive. So we coordinate. We talk to the people. We talk to not really just giving them our plans, but also getting their plans. And then therefore activating not only the people, but all the entertainment sectors, the bands, the cultural performers, and everybody to the merchandising of all the streets so that when it happens, you know, it's a big event that the city and the people could be proud of. Right. So that's what we do. We coordinate. And then we give them the templates so that when we're gone, they can do it. In fact, we created programs since the 90s that it's still alive today. It is still alive today, and it has become a social enterprise. Like, I won't mention the brand, but there is a famous brand that created the sports clinics nationwide. It is alive until today. It's now about 35 years. 35 years, it's still alive. Don't ask my age, but it's still alive. And then other things that we did that are still alive. And we gave them the program so that they will be stakeholders and running it themselves. I mean, this is like saying, don't give them fish, give them nets. Those are the things that we did. At any rate, that's what we are here for. We are a non-stock, non-profit NGO, and we're helping people. So help them. That's what we're doing. We gave it to them. In the software IT world, give the software for free, right? So that's how it is.
Beautifully put. So understood. So now, if I were to imagine this, I mean, this will require a lot of groundwork, a lot of planning before these events happen. How much planning goes into this? How many months do you have to plan and strategize ahead of time to make this happen?
Well, if you're a startup, you really have to start from the beginning. I mean, from ground up and everything. But at this point, Magna Kultura is already 20 years. And like I mentioned, there were programs that we even started in the 90s. That's 30 years back. And we started doing theater even years back in the 1980s. So we're 40 years of experience. So what I could say is, how do you start it? What really goes into it? How do you start it? We have templates. We have templates so that if somebody asks for, say, one of our programs is the organizing of the Filipino games, the traditional Filipino games. If they tell us, and today is Wednesday, hey, we want to do it on Saturday. Are you okay? Yes, don't worry. We're strike ready.
Wow.
We're strike ready.
Wow.
And in fact, To date, today is July 26th. Just yesterday, we did the culmination of our Children's Month event, and we did the Filipino Games. But we also said this is the culmination of the Children's Month, but it's also the prologue to the month of our national language and the implementation rollout of the traditional Filipino games in barangays. Why? Because those who facilitated the Children's Month event yesterday were all Rotaracts. There were 4 Rotaract clubs. So the district officers were there because they wanted to know how the event will happen, because they will roll it out in their with their clubs in different cities, in different barangays in our district. So it's also the beginning of something that will roll out. It's the bringing back of the games of our heritage back in the mainstream of society in modern age. See, how about that?
Oh, wonderfully thought out. And 30 years is a long time, and you've been at it. More than anything else, what you just said kind of amplifies that all your projects are sustainable and you have the methods to make them so. So great. Now let's talk a little bit about your passion project, which is ASSET, as I know it, ASSET, which is the Academy for Sari-Sari Store Enterprise Training. You want to talk a little bit to our viewers about that? How did it start? Where is it today? And what help do you need for people to make it more scalable?
The Academy of Sari-Sari Store Enterprise Training basically started in 2005. It started as an association, but a lot of things happened. A lot of political people and a lot of characters came to me. So we folded that for about 4 years and came back in 2010 with that name, ASSET, the Academy for Sari-Sari Store Enterprise Training. And basically, it's a training for the Pinoy entrepreneurs, the sari-sari stores, the mom and pop stores, the convenience store, but little lower than that, really small stores that are operating in the cities. Now, if you ask me why that sari-sari store, now remember, the sari-sari stores are 70% of the total consumer goods sales, meaning the fast-moving consumer good items. 70%.
Wow.
25% comes from the supermarkets. 5% comes from the convenience stores, the 7-Elevens. But who buys from the supermarket? It's also about 60% the sari-sari stores. Okay? So at the end of the day, the advertisers who give their budget to all those media networks advertises with billions so that they would buy the products. Now, when they advertise, where will the people buy their products? Well, some of us buy at the supermarket, but that's only 25% of us, because 70% buys of the buyers are the sari-sari stores. So 70%, which is our socio-economic classes in the country, buys from the small stores. So you're talking to that sector. Now, that's a potent economic sector. Now, if you have the sari-sari stores, because of your school, they will come to the Rotary. If they need to implement something, they come to the Rotary. And the reason why I'm franchising this to the Rotary Clubs is so that we will not raise funds anymore. We keep on raising funds. We keep on asking from our members whenever we have projects. But what if we can raise philanthropic funds, sort of some I call war fund so that the next time we have an outreach, whether it's a feeding medical program, we have our funds. We can donate, and not only donate, as much as possible, do what we are doing. Don't just give fish, give them nets.
Right.
Create social enterprises. And what the Rotarians do? They monitor the enterprise like it was their legacy program. So let's help the Rotary. I mean, from where we are right now, let's go to Rotary 2.0. 2.0.
Wonderful.
And bring the local mom and pop stores to the fourth industrial revolution so that the age of internet will not wipe them up. That's our legacy program. I'm giving it to all the Rotaries so that it could be their flagship program too. And together, unite the Rotaries in bouncing back from the pandemic.
How noble, how creative, and how truly scientific. Because, like you said, I mean, that those numbers that you talked about, I'm intrigued to ask you this, and there'll be a lot of Rotarian friends who would watch this podcast. How can they collaborate with you and your asset organization to help their own clubs to be generating funds, like you just mentioned? What can they do, and how could you help?
Basically, there are already some Rotary clubs that are connecting with us, and it's very simple. They connect with us in a sister club arrangement. You talk about the things that you could share with each other. And as I observed in the past, most of the things that they share are, of course, the programs that they have, the outreach program, the feeding programs, or anything that is mandated by the Rotary. But beyond that, we go beyond that by telling them that we're sharing to you some franchise programs like the Academy for Sari-Sari Enterprise Training, and some of the art programs that we have so that you could also give it to your Rotaracs. So it's for the Rotary and also for the Rotaracs. So that's why, like I said, yesterday we shared the Larong Pinoy, the Filipino games to the Rotaracs. So that's one. So that we implement it together. We give them trainings and workshops, and then we co-implement it at first, so that when they learn the ropes, they could implement it already on their own. And if it raises funds, the funds is theirs, not ours. Nothing to share. We're just happy. Just inform us. We'll come. The funds are yours, so that you could implement more. So basically, it's just getting in touch with us and then sharing, informing it how to run the schools, how to implement the Filipino games. So it's just that. So basically, what do they do? How do we run the schools? I'll already tell them that you're not going to run the schools. You're just going to monitor the milestones and hold the budget for the stakeholders. Now, who are the stakeholders? Aside from the Sari-Sari stores, we have already for the past 3 years connected to the national cooperatives, nationwide confederations, and then under them are regional associations. Like, for example, in South Luzon, there is the Federation of Calabarzon Cooperatives. So that's a big region, Calabarzon. There's the Federation of North Luzon cooperatives. And then under those federations are small cooperatives in the cities. Now, when there's a Rotary in a certain city, like a month and a half ago, we signed a sister club agreement with the Rotary Club of Calamba. Calamba is in Laguna. Now, the Rotary Club of Calamba was also introduced to a cooperative that we are already partnered with, because we are already in partnership with the national and then the federation and then the local cooperative in Calamba. We let them also meet together and partner because it is the cooperatives who will implement your school, get the sari-sari stores, and help them all the way. And then they report to the Rotary.
Yeah.
Because it's a Rotary project. So in effect, Rotary is like the government and the LGU is like the cooperative. So it's like that. We created that system, that kind of system. So that's what we're doing. We to really make it well-oiled, and so that the Rotaries will not go out of their way to get the stores or go to Manang, go to the stores. We even have mentors who does that.
Wow.
So the mentors are from the barangays, the youth.
Right.
So we also train the youth while they're young. There's a program for that also. We call it SEED. The acronym for SEED is Social Entrepreneurship for Ecosystem Development. SEED. They're like the go negosyo at the grassroots, the mentors, because that's the last mile. After you teach them in the Sari-Sari Store School, you don't leave them alone. You continue to monitor Manang. You continue to monitor Aling Inday so that she'll continue to learn. And it's the youth that trains them. It's the cooperatives that take care of them. And the cooperatives also has a stake in all of this. Because remember, during the pandemic, the cooperatives also went down. They also went down. So they also need lifting. So all of us together, we all rise by lifting each other. And the Rotary is right there to lift them up for progress in our local economies.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, what you're doing is such a delight to know. And when I first heard from you, I of course understood that it's like socio-economic development of an entire region. And based on the data that you just gave, yes, we all understand and acknowledge this is a great project. Okay, so thank you for sharing all of those. I wanted to now go on to the personal side of Mr. Dickie. And very simple questions. What's your preferred relaxation on a weekend?
Well, listening to music while doing artworks, using Adobe Photoshop.
Wow,
That's what I do.
Wow.
Designing on my own, not really for a client. And then I listen to music. And when it comes to music, I'm very eclectic, from classic to rock to jazz. But if you ask me, I listen more to movie soundtracks,
Wow.
movie scores.
OST.
So that when the week starts,
Yeah.
I enter my own movie.
Talking of movies,
the music in my mind.
right?
Yeah.
Talking of movies, what would you choose? Action or romance?
Well, none of the above. I like more of the epic historical genre, the biopics.
Nice, nice.
I don't watch much of the romance. Yeah, sometimes I watch action like I like Denzel Washington, The Exterminator.
Yep.
That's one. I like it's because I like the editing. I watch the cut when she says 29 seconds. 29 seconds of action and editing, I get thrilled watching what the director will do.
Yeah.
See? It's like that because I also have an arts background. So
That's very
I'm
evident.
interested in how they do it.
Wonderful. Okay, so now we will do the last section, and as you can imagine, it's going to be what we call the Usapang Express. So this will be rapid.
I have a feeling like I know that. Okay.
You do. You do. So these are fast questions coming to you. So are you ready?
Fast
Same,
talk,
Dickie?
go.
All right, let's go. Black or white?
White.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Night or day?
Day.
Most beautiful place in the Philippines?
Baguio.
Chocolate or sex?
Chocolate.
Pinays are best at
Business. Service.
mabango or maputi?
Mabango.
Which is the one mistake you made in the recent past that you want to change?
Working slow.
Great. If you woke up one morning and to find yourself as Governor J, what's the first thing you would do?
Do what the Governor J does. Gather your presidents and let them
Awesome.
know the plan.
Super. One tip for a young Rotarian.
Imbibe what service means and how to be a people of action. Be involved.
Wonderful. And my last question for the evening, your best Rotary moment so far, CM Dickie. Take your
Well,
time.
it's only beginning, but the best Rotary moment so far is being able to do a lot in the first month, connecting with all the Rotarians. That's the best part, connecting with the Rotarians in the regions. And it's already happening. Tomorrow, I have a meeting with the district governor of Quezon City.
Great. I wish you, on behalf of everyone else, this year, be the best year of all your Rotary years. And I already see that coming. Thank you so much for making time for this. And God bless, and God bless your foundation and everything that you're doing for Rotary. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. And to all our fellow Rotarians, let's all work together
Absolutely.
and bounce back our economy. This year, our year.
Thank you so much. With that, good evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.